Welcome to The Point of View. Today is the last day in the month of November. It's also 7 days to election 2020, and we are looking forward to that very exciting poll. The show tonight is going to continue with what we started last week. We're going to break down the numbers for you. We're going to explain to you why the leading candidates are going to the places they are going and saying the things they're saying. We're going to use numbers to explain that, because in Ghana, we have up until the 2020 election, 10 regions. Those 10 regions have peculiar ways of behaving, which influences who wins the election. Today, we'll show you some interesting patterns historically about these regions and also explain to you what has to happen for which party to win. It's going to be an exciting show with me and my graphs. Stay with us.
Two healthy kids last night.
Huh? Congrats. Have you heard?
2 kids.
You get free calls from 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. for 6 months when you make an Airtel Tigo money transaction on new Airtel Tigo Saves.
My son has 2 kids. I was the. No.
For all your lengthy conversations, get a SIM today.
Yeah, so I'm still talking.
Nivea Men Deep Antiperspirant with the power of black carbon formula. 48-hour protection from sweat and bacteria. For a deep, clean feeling that lasts. New Nivea Men Deep Antiperspirant. Nivea Men. It starts with you. Official sponsor of Real Madrid.
Ghana for say agro no be dey fi anopa. Agro no aso. Na aso yi ye beto aba December. Ya to sa papa ni nyina atwene ni asa ankohye ase bi. Sam fie na na eda enu de ya digya. Akufuado ni bawumia ani MPP for. Se no mo se ya hyase a kuaye otumpon, enuma so otumpon, hospital otumpon, akwan aden ni nyina asori. Sikasam no so investors ni adeba. Mre bia Ghana for be tumi ni be hye nsam. Manu puntuo se sikasam obo se. Manu sorry. Se free SHO so. Se nsu papa ye num. Ne fesrim bia se kuayo. Hospital, healthcare, housing, akwan papa. Omo ye ni nyina. Na bia ye ni nyina dia ye nko sesa. Dia nyi tumi ni mfiri ho. Nya nsa mfa nko hen fa bio. Timi na masira se Ghana for. Omo ye nyina na na do achi. Nsa ma na kwan ye mo da baso se. Kwan wazi so no onko so. Ye de mase.
Welcome back to The Point of View. So, as we said, it's 7 days to election 2020, and there are lots of predictions coming around. We want to use today's show to explain to you some of the things that happen in our elections, so you have a clearer sense of what is at stake. Now, if you followed the city news we just brought to you, you'll notice that President Akufo-Addo is in the Ashanti region, former President Mahama is in the Upper West region. Both of them have been to the Ashanti region for more than 3 times in the past few months. They will both campaign in the Greater Accra region as well. There are reasons why certain regions become more important in our elections. I'm going to start by showing you the regional map of presidential election results since 1996. Everywhere you see painted blue is where MPP wins. So the map on your right is 1996. In 96, when candidate Kufuor went against Chairman Rawlings, MPP won only Ashanti region in terms of their popular votes in the region. The only region MPP won in 96 was Ashanti. Then in the year 2000, in the first round, MPP won 6 regions, all regions except the 3 regions in the north and the Volta region. Then you notice that in the year 2000, there was a runoff. The regional breakdown did not change, but the figures changed very, very much. So in elections in Ghana, it's not about which region you win. It's about the margin of victory, and I'll explain this shortly. Now look at the 2004 map. The 2004 map is essentially the same as the 2000 map and the 2000 runoff map, but they are all showing different numbers. So that's the first thing to notice. It's very clear that the Northern region, Upper East region, Upper West region, and Volta region are NDC strongholds. That's very clear from these maps. It's also very clear that the Ashanti region is a stronghold of the MPP. Now, from the year 2000, the Eastern region also became decidedly blue. So, as I keep showing the maps as we go along, you notice that the Ashanti and Eastern blue patch remains, and the Volta, Upper East, Upper West, and the Northern green patch remains. So it's almost like the left side of the map goes for MPP, the right side of the map goes for NDC. Now, some people say elections in Ghana are ethnic censuses. I wouldn't go as far as say that, but the next few maps I'll show you will explain something. Now, in the year 2000, we had the first change in government. So you had President Kufuor beating the then candidate Mills in the runoff, and then President Kufuor maintained his victory in 2004. 2008 was a very interesting year for Ghana because we had a second change in government. Now, what happened in 2008 is very interesting. We had 2 rounds of elections. Now, look at the 2008 first round map on your right. You notice that the MPP maintains all the regions except 2. Central region and Greater Accra region have become green. But even with that, after the first round, the MPP was still in the lead. Now, that's interesting because prior to this, NPP had won 6 regions, NDC had won 4 regions with a healthy margin. 2008, candidate Mills versus Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Candidate Mills wins 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 regions. Upper East, Upper West, Northern Volta, Greater Accra, and Central. Yet, his total percentage is 48.3. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo wins 4 regions, and his percentage is 49.5. This is the reason why. Now look at the MPP on your left. The margin for MPP in Ashanti region and Eastern region is really the real story here. Because our elections are essentially a question of first past the post, the margins between the 2 parties determine who wins. Also because we've already shown you that our smaller parties always get very small percentages. In fact, since 96, the small parties have reduced in margin. The last election, they got below 2.5%. So look on your left, Ashanti region, MPP got 776,000 vote margin. This is not total votes, this is just margin. That is, if you take away NDC's vote from MPP's votes, the positive for MPP is 776,000. So that's just Ashanti on your left. Now look at your right, NDC. This is 2008 round 1. Volta region, how much did they get? 450K, right? Now that 450K they got, add what they got in the other regions, Upper East, Upper West, Northern, Greater Accra, Central. Just Ashanti and Eastern in 2008 first round is almost equal to all those other regions. So what's the story here? Well, the story is simple. It's a story of turnouts and margins. It's not a story of just winning a region. It's actually a story of the margin, This is very, very important. Now, the clear story we're seeing here is that for the NDC to win an election in Ghana, it needs its margins, not just in Volta and the Northern region, which are its 2 best regions, to be strong. It also needs to win other regions. Now, the 2008 runoff revealed a very interesting conclusion. I recall during those days when the MPP attempted to go to court over tying, a lot of people were saying, look at it. NDC has won 8 regions. Okay? So look in the map, your second from right map. Only 2 of the regions are blue, Ashanti and Eastern. Everybody is green. Yet it was still very close. In fact, it was a 40,000 vote difference. A 40,000 vote difference. Ashanti region and Eastern region alone. And this is just the margins I'm using. I'm not using, because you see, at the end of the day, it's the net for the party that determines who wins, okay? So you typically notice that the NDC will get maybe 500,000 in the Volta region. In those days, MPP will get like, say, 90,000. That's a 500 or 410,000 gap. MPP will get 1.5 million. NDC will get maybe 400,000. 1.1 million gap. That 1.1 million gap can swallow up 4 regions. So that's a major issue. So to tilt an election, you need to look at the margins. Okay? So why is Ashanti region so important in Ghana's election? Even though for the past 4 elections, Greater Accra region has the largest population, Greater Accra doesn't give the margins you want, because Greater Accra is like the national average. So you hardly get anybody get more than 200,000 difference in Greater Accra. The largest we have 110,000. But look at Ashanti region. Look at 2008 second round. Look at the turnout for 2008 for Ashanti. Over 80% for MPP. 83% turnout. So a higher turnout for a political party. So 959,000 margin. Add NDC's Volta, 528. Northern, 189. Greater Accra, 154. Upper West, 106. Look at that. 500,000 plus all these. Still, Ashanti is just one region. Almost 1 million extra votes for the MPP. So if Eastern region pulls the votes for MPP and they cross the 1.1 million threshold, look at the number of regions NDC is winning. So NDC people say, oh, we are more national party, we are more broad-based because we are in all kinds of regions. Look at our performance in 2008 second round. Now, it's very possible that MPP could have won the 2008 round 2 election with a few more votes in Ashanti and Eastern. Now, regions are created based on whatever political system is contemplating whatever change it wants to make. So the issue is not the number of regions you win. It's the turnout in your stronghold. That's the first point I want to make today. Now look at it. 40.5K difference for NDC. They had to win 8 regions to get that 40.5K difference. So in that particular year, I'll just walk through the turnout. 2008 second round, Ashanti's turnout was 83.3%, the highest turnout of any region. Hence, they got the 959,000. The Volta region turnout for that election was 73%. So that 500,000 they got was 73% turnout. Eastern region 140K. Eastern region turnout was 67%. So the Ashanti 83% turnout for Nanado in that second round almost won him the election. This is important. This is why you heard him in the voice clip Samir Yafi just heard you play. He said, don't sit at home and say I've won the election. Go out and vote. You hear Mahama also saying the same things about going out to vote. This election is a turnout contest. Now let's continue. Let me show you the 2012 map. 2012 was when President Mahama came into the picture as a candidate and consolidated the victory of President Mills in 2008. First, let's look at the map. He managed to maintain the 2008 second round map. So you see what he did. Please move it up a bit. So he basically kept, so you notice that even though the regional maps have been changed between 08 round 2 and 2012, the percentage changed because Mahama gets 50.7, whereas in 2008, Mills got slightly above 50%. So Mahama consolidates his gains from 2008 for NDC. But let's look at the margins again. 2012 margins. MPP 919,000 plus in Ashanti. Eastern 172K. Wow. So if you put the two together, 1.09 million. But in this case, NDC does better in Volta. Because whereas in the previous slide, NDC was doing around 500,000. Now they've jumped to 624,000. Turnout. So take note of the NDC turnout in 2012. Because in 2016, the major problem NDC faced was a turnout problem. And you'll see that shortly. But let's keep this slide. Volta, 624,000. Northern, 187,000. That's around 700 and almost 800,000. Still not enough to meet Ashanti. So Volta and Northern together Even though Volta 600,000 is the biggest they've gotten since records started, probably except Rawlings, they still not reached the NPP's 900,000. You need to add the 153,000 from Upper East to get to the Ashanti. Then you use the Greater Accra's 116, Western 114, Central 62, Bono for 41 to overturn the Ashanti. A couple of things to notice. A lot of people say that our swing regions determine elections in Ghana. I disagree. The swing regions actually don't do anything. You know why? If you go back to the charts I've shown you, Bono Afu, the margins are very small, 40,000, 60,000. Somebody is giving you 1 million margin. Now, the way the regions work, if you go to Western region, Western North is an NDC stronghold, okay? And then the southern parts of Western region, Takrade, Shama, Efia, Kwesi Mintim, Mpoho, they are MPP strongholds. Then you have the mining areas, Prestia, Takwa. Takwa will do MPP, Prestia will go NDC, MPP, depending on how they feel. Chomoro, Evaluejira. So when you put all of that together, the margin is not very high. Same for BA. When Bronga Afo was divided into 3 regions, a lot of us started seeing how the region behaves. So you notice that the 3 regions are being delineated clearly on the basis of strongholds. Bono East, where you have Sene, Pru, Atebubu, Kintampo, Techiman, all these places closer to the Volta. These are NDC strongholds. Then you go to Bono region, Sunyai, German, you go to Brekum. These are MPP strongholds. Then you go to Ahafo. Ahafo is where the balance is tipped. So the BA margins are not that high. So actually, maybe Greater Accra and Central are where you can say, because the populations are high, and because the Central region tends to vacillate on bigger margins. So if you look at the difference for Central, let's go to 2016. I'll show you something. So again, 2016. The 2016 map is similar to the 2004 map. It's similar to the 2000 map. So this is actually a repetition of Kufuor's 2004 and 2000 second round victory. This is Nanado's first round of one touch in 2016. Okay, you have 4 regions for NDC, 6 for Ashanti, for MPP. But let's go to the differences for 2016 in terms of the numbers. That's where you now notice the importance of look at Western region, 70,000 difference. Bronga Hafu 88,000. Central 91,000. This is all MPP, positive for them. Greater Accra 116,000. Now Greater Accra, because the numbers are large, you tend to see the region's difference helping. Eastern region 280,000. Wow. Now we haven't forget about the numbers below Ashanti. Just take Ashanti 1.1 million. Add all the NDC votes in 2016. Volta, delta of 490K. Let's even say 500,000. Add Northern region, 150,000. That's 650. Add Upper East, 114. That's 7 something. Add Upper East, Upper West, 64. 823,000. 4 regions still smaller than Ashanti. So if there was a split in Eastern, Greater Accra, Central, Bono Afo, and Western, 50-50. Just by winning Ashanti region, MPP would have won that election. Now, what's interesting is that NDC gets a lot of votes in Ashanti. In fact, NDC gets on average about 400,000 votes. So it's not as if the Ashanti region is just voting for MPP, but the numbers are so large. Now, the first problem this year for MPP could be that because Greater Accra has had so many votes in terms of registered voters, maybe the margin in Greater Accra, depending on who wins it, could neutralize is not the right word, could maybe lessen the Ashanti effect. Because of course now Greater Accra has 3.5 million voters. So who knows? If somebody gets 150,000 or 200,000 net in Greater Accra, that could make a dent in an Ashanti. But look at Volta. Now, show me 2012. 2012, NDC has 600,000 plus in Volta. Look at what they are doing in 2016. 490,000, even below 500,000. This is even below 2008 figures. So the story of NDC in 2012 into 2016, look at 2012, 624,000, right? 624,000. Northern 187. Now show me 2016. It drops to 494. What's going on? So the story of NDC in 2016 is also a story of low turnout. And NDC MPP overturned a 300,000 deficit in 2012 into a 900,000 advantage. That's like a 1.2 million turn. How did that happen? How did that happen? Now, we are going to now explain something. Of the regions we've shown here, Ashanti, Eastern, and Volta are very important. When I come back, I'm going to show you the constituencies behind these numbers. Because it's not just a question of 1.1 million voters in Ashanti or 600,000 voters in Volta. There's some constituencies that contribute that. And that's actually where we'll see why some constituencies get more attention than others. Because it will look like the margins in those constituencies are what pushes up the numbers in the big regions. So when we come back, I'll show you that. Later on, I'll show you something very interesting. There are some constituencies that never vote for a party more than one election cycle. Every election cycle, they change. Every election cycle, they change. There are some constituencies too who always vote opposite to what the whole country is voting. I'll show you those guys too. This is the point of view. It's 7 days to election, and we're trying to give you some insights into how people are voting. First point you've made, Ashanti, critical. Volta, very important. Eastern, equally big. This year, Greater Accra could also be big. Not forgetting Central. We'll be back with more. Stay with us.
Don't forget the balloons,
Check.
the DJ,
Check.
and the drinks.
Listen, honey, I've got this party under control, okay?
Daddy, don't forget our birthday cake with the sparkling candles. Daddy, are you there?
The party's at 4 p.m., honey. Don't be late.
With the all-new CowPay on the CowBank app and website, you don't have to worry about carrying cash. Just place your order with your favorite merchant and pay with a Visa or MasterCard, mobile money or CowBank account, or scan and pay. Visit the Play Store or App Store and download the CowBank app today. CowBank app. Forget the cash.
CowBank. Forward.
Ahoya. Ahoya. Greetings to the gallant personnel of our security services. As we prepare to participate in the special voting exercise ahead of the presidential and parliamentary elections scheduled for December 7, 2020, I urge you not to despair. I encourage you to hope and vote John Mahama for a prosperous Ghana that shares opportunities for all. As your former Commander-in-Chief, I'll continue to respect and cherish your patriotic contributions to our dear nation. You all know the current sad state of affairs in our beloved country. The living conditions of Ghanaians continue to worsen. Economic hardship is the order of the day, yet this government has turned out to be the most corrupt in the history of our Fourth Republic. I make a commitment to the security services that come January 7, 2021, God willing, under my administration, we will not only ensure depoliticization of the security services, but also restore both discipline and transparency to raise morale. This is my solemn pledge to create opportunities for you and not just a few. Ahoya. Ahoya.
Number two, economic.
Welcome back to The Point of View. This is our second in a series of, I don't know whether they are monologues, but we're basically just trying to give you a clearer sense of what to expect. Now, the reason we do this is that a week from today, when you see us on TV, you tune in to City TV around 9:29. Vivian Kailoko will be sitting here, and I will be sitting across here with Kojo Akoto, and we'll be analyzing results. One of the things we'll do is to say that, look, the historic average of a constituency determines for us who's winning this election on the basis of what percentage they get. Let me explain. Now, there are certain constituencies that give certain parties specific percentages. Okay, so Ashanti region obviously is a stronghold for the MPP. Now, we looked out for the top 10 constituencies that MPP wins in terms of percentage, and we also did the same for NDC. These things are important because these percentages can be traced historically. So if, for example, a constituency like Suame, so let's go to 2012. In terms of margin of votes for MPP, the constituencies that give MPP the largest percentage, there are 10 of them. And in 2012, all of them were in Ashanti region. That shouldn't be surprising. In 2016, some came from Greater Accra, but in 2012, all of them were from Ashanti region in terms of margin of votes. Now, what are these constituencies? Let's come to percentage first, MPP percentage margin for 2012. Bekwai gave MPP 71%. Wow. That means that the rest of the parties got less than 30%. So in terms of 2012, Joe Wise's Bekwai was the most blue of the MPP blues. Okay. Then Kwadaso gave MPP 69%. That's also pretty high. Kwadaso, which is where the now Minister of Agric is MP, or former MP, Honorable Efriye Akoto. Then the fabled Bantama, 67.9% MPP margin, right? 67.9% of the total votes, valid votes in the region, in the constituency. Then there's Odotobri. And I didn't do this, I did this for the whole country. And all your big hitters for MPP are Ashanti. Bekwai, Kwadaso, Bantama, Odotobri, Suame. Suame, where the majority leader is Member of Parliament. Suame gave MPP 66.4% in 2012. This is 2012, the year Mahama won the election. Then there's Atwema Kwaoma. Atwema Kwaoma is one of the fastest growing constituencies in Ghana today. It's among the top 20. We asked our friends in Ashanti, they said Atwema Kwaoma is expanding rapidly. There's a lot of movement there. Rent is not as expensive. Atwema Kwaoma in 2012 gave MPP 63.8%. Then there's Mantung Kwanta, there's Efija Kwabre South, then there's Menshia South and Ejiso. So MPP's big hitters, the top 10 best regional performers by percentage, consensus performance, are all in Ashanti. This is what I mean by margin of votes, or percentage margin of votes for 2012. Now, let me show you NDC's 2012 performance, best performance. Then I'll come to the 2016 numbers as well. So whereas Bekwai, Kwadaso, Bantama, Odotobri, and Co are the MPP's big boys, who are the NDC's big boys for 2012 in terms of percentage? There you have it. K2 South. I want percentage, not margin of votes. I want percentage first before I show the margin of votes. So percentage. Which percentage, which constituency gives NDC its biggest? So which is the World Bank? That's the other word. So if Suame in 2012 was MPP's World Bank, followed by Kwadaso and Co. Good. Keta, look at it. 92.5, like an FM station. 92.5, Keta, 2012. Wow. 92.5. Followed by Anglo, 90.05. Then there's K2 South, 87. So you see, the MPP, in terms of the percentage, is giving me 71%, 69, 67, 67. Look at NDC. 92, 90, 87. Adaklu, 87. Norton, 87. South Tong 86, Afajato South 84, Whole West 84, Whole Central 84. So the NDC's top 10 are all in the Volta region, and they are all above 80. The MPP's top 10 are all in Ashanti, only one is above 70. Why? Well, there are many reasons for this. Some people think that Ashanti has more migrant populations. So they still think that Ashantis vote MPP, but they'll typically tell that there are more non-accounts in the Ashanti region than there are more non-Ewes in the Volta region. That's the reason they give. Some people also think different. But these percentages are very serious. All 10 are above 80. Okay, now this is useful so that when we start getting results from Akachi South, and you see Akachi South, NDC gets 70%, you can tell Vivian, wow, what's going on? Because Akachi South will always give above 80. Or you go to Siami, and Siami gives you 60% MPP. You know there's a problem for MPP there. So this is the kind of thing you do to check. Now this is just in terms of percentage. Now let me just show you something else. Now my argument is that whereas percentage is important, margin of votes is more important. So even though for percentage, NDC has higher percentages than MPP in their top 10, the real issue is not percentage. The real issue is the margin of votes. Now go to MPP 2012, show me their margin of votes. So whereas the percentage is just 70 and 60, look at Siami's margin of votes for 2012. 51,168. This is when you take out everybody else. This is what NPP gets over NDC in Siami. I want margin of votes for 2012. Margin of vote for 2012. Margin of vote for 2012. MPP, margin of vote for 2012. Not percentage, margin of vote for 2012. Look at it. Siami, 51,168. Yes, this one. Look at it. 51,000. Kwadasu. So even though it was 70%, 69%, the number is the issue. So the issue here is not the percent too. You can give somebody 90, 90, 90, 90. But the number, 51K, this is when you take out everybody else. This is net of 51,000. This is not total votes. This is the net for NPP. Kwadasu, 47,000. Kwabre East, 45,000. Bekwai, 40,000. Bantama, 40,000. Ejisu, 39,000. Achema Kwaoma, 38,000. Asokwa, 38,000. This is where the 1 million is coming from. These are the guys doing that 1 million thing. Those 900,000 people. Because when you add all these figures, the top 10 margin for MPP, if the average is even 40,000, that's about 400,000 votes. This is just 10 constituencies. Ashanti has 47 constituencies, and I'm just giving you 10. These 10 are just margins. So look, Siami to Inshai. So if you said the average on this screen is even 35,000, that's 350,000 votes. That's more than Upper East and Upper West put together. This is just 10 constituencies, people. Serious. So Chairman Sabonsu is not just the majority leader. He's the World Bank leader. Chairman Sabonsu is the leader of the World Bank in Ghana. 51,000. Show me the equivalent of this for NDC 2012. They were giving you 90% and cool. Ketu South is where the issue. So even though Keta had 92%, this is why there's issue with Ketu South with all the noise and controversy. Look at Ketu South. 76,000. As my friend said, he has cleared everybody. So even though Siam is 51,000, look at Ketu South. 76,000. So Ketu South is where the action is for margin. For margin, for percentage it was number 3, but for margin is number 1. Then Whole Central, for margin, 52,000. That's in the company of the Siamis. Then Hohwe, 37,000. Haruna Idrisu, Tamale South, 36,000. Not bad. Anglo, which was the highest in terms of, second highest in terms of percentage, is giving 36K. It's not bad. South Tong, 34. Keta, 33. Ketu North, 32. North Tong, 31. Whole West, 30. So I think this is very clear, right? So the issue here is that the top 10 in NDC for 2012, the average there will be about 30-something thousand. You see, because I have 76, 57, 37, and the rest are all in their 30s. In Ashanti, a lot were above 40K. Okay, and Ashanti has 47 constituencies. Volta has less than 25. Okay, now let's do 2016, because the picture becomes clearer for 2016. This is 2012 when NDC won the election. So Ketu South give them all these numbers. Let's go to 2016 in terms of margins. Margins, 2016, MPP's big hitters for 2016. Percentage margin. Wow. Bekwai, 79. You see, in 2012, the biggest was 71. That was Siame. Then followed by many 60s. Now look at the numbers here. 79, 79, 77, 74, 74. So you see, the percentage the MPP gets in these big constituencies pushes the margin higher. So Bekwai, 79, almost 80%. So 80-20. Kwadasu, 79. Bantama, 77. Siame, 74. Siame was now number 4. So 2016, Bekwai rules. No wonder Joe Wise is the Deputy Speaker of Parliament. Odotobri, 74. Achema Kwauma, 73. Menshia South, 72. Afija Kwabre South, 72. So the top 10 in terms of MPP now, you're averaging above 70. In the 2012 number, only one was above 70. Okay? If you show the equivalent of 2012, only Siame was above 70 for their margin. But in 2016, all 10 are above 70. You see what's going on there? So that's important. Show me the NDC's equivalent for this. 2016, their top 10 percentages. You see? 88, 84. Don't forget, in the first one I showed you, Keta, 93. There are a lot of 90s. Now they have come down. So you see what's going on. So there's a method to the madness. The turnout was the issue. So whereas in 2016, MPP guys give a bigger margin in their respective regions. NDC people they are doing Daltons there. 88, 84, 81, 81, 81, 80, 79, 79. What does this mean? Go now to 2016 margin of votes. Because the percentage drives the margin, right? So go to MPP 2016 margin of votes to now explain where the gap came from. This is 2016 margin of votes. Siame, 57,941. Kwabre East, 55,000. Kwadasu, 54,000. Achema Kwauma, 46,000. Bekwai, 45,000. Huge numbers. 2016. Huge, huge, huge numbers. I saw Dome Kwabenya also give them some huge numbers in one of the numbers I did. But look at this. 57, 55, 54, 46, 45, 45, 45, 45, 42. Only one is below 40. Okay, so if your average is even 45,000, these are 10 constituencies, about 450,000 plus. This is a marginal. I'm not just looking at the votes, because look at the votes. Siame, MPP 67,000, NDC 9,000. Kwabre East 71 to 15. Kwadaso 61 to 7. Kwauma 54 to 8. Bekwai 51 to 5. Ejisu 55 to 9. Asokwa 56 to 10. Bantama 51 to 6. So the NDC is really below 10,000. Which is why NDC also says that when they get above 25% in Ashanti, they are doing well. Because for them, the issue in Ashanti is closing the gap. Because the Ashanti is the issue. Now, keep an eye on the far right column. 57, 55, 54, 46, 45, 45, 45. These are just 10 constituencies. Go to Volta's equivalent. Volta 2016 margin of votes. The year that Nanado won one touch. Ketu South has come down. In 2012, this was 70-something thousand, right? Remember 2012, I showed you the 70-something thousand. It's now 57,000. Only one of the Volta gaps is above 50K. Everybody else is below. One is above 40, the rest are all below 30. Okay, so there's an issue with Volta regions margins in 2016. Okay, Whole Central, 47,000. Tamale South, 32,000. If you looked at the 2012 figures for this, these figures were, you are seeing now, are very, very low. Because when you look at the 2012 NDC margin of votes, so you keep this on the screen, I'll show you something. Ketu South has 76,000. Now it has 57. 20,000 drop. Whole Central had 57. Now it has 47. 10,000 drop. Hohwe had 37. Now where is Hohwe? 28. 11,000 drop. Tamale South had 36,000. it has 32,000, 4,000 drop. South Tong had 34,000, it has 29, 5,000. So there are huge drops in Volta region's margins from 2012 to 2016. This is actually what determined the election outcome. Because arguably, even though Central Region gave MPP 18 seats, NDC got 4 seats, the gap wasn't that wild. Okay, so I think that this whole issue about swing region and BAs and those things, they are important, but the real issue is the gap in the key regions. The key issue is the gaps in the key regions. Okay, so if I make sense, have I understood something? Fine. So, a couple of things. When the 2020 results start coming in and we are calling the constituency numbers, we'll show you these charts, we'll show you some maps. You can tell where an election is going by whether the percentage in these areas are getting better or getting worse. As I've shown you, NDC's percentages in 2012 were better than their percentages in 2016. MPP flipped it. So this is the kind of thing you look out for. You can even do that for polling stations, but we don't have the details. Okay. So far we've seen that the turnout is the issue. The percentage and the margin is the issue. When I come back, I'm going to show you something less technical, something just very simple. There are some constituencies that they always behave funny. So we noticed last week we made a mistake we'll correct when we come back, where we said the Jokuku always got it right. The Jokuku got it wrong in 2016. They got it right parliamentary, but got it wrong presidential. Be that as it may, we will correct that. But now we're going to show you some constituencies and their funny behaviors. There are some constituencies who always go against the national picture. There are some constituencies who have never voted for the same party in any election cycle. So 92, they vote for somebody. 96, they change. 2000, they go for the old person. 2004, they change. They keep doing that. Can you guess which regions these constituencies are in? And can you guess which constituencies these are? We'll also show you some constituencies that are very vacillatory on the parliamentary side. These things are important. Some people are even predicting we may have a split of tickets in the country. Again, if you listen to both leading candidates, one of the key things they keep saying is that don't do skirt and blouse. Because there's a lot of local issues that affect parties that are different from the national sentiment. So you hear Nanado say don't do skirt and blouse. John Mahama say don't do skirt and blouse. Because when it comes to parliament, what people are looking out for may not be the same thing they're looking out for president. So we'll show you some of the parliamentary seats that have always gone against national sentiment. We don't know why they do that, but we'll show you these constituencies. Some are in BA, quite a number in the central region, and a couple are in the Greater Accra region. This is the point of view. Hope you are learning something as the elections draw closer. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Ghana for say agro no be dey fi anopa agro no aso na aso yi ye beto aba December ya to sa papa ni nyina atwene ni asa ankohye ase bi sam fie na na de anim de ya digya akufuado ni bawumia ani MPP for se do mo se ya ase kuraye otumpon enwoma so otumpon hospital otumkom akwan aden ni nyina asori sikasam no so investors in idea ba mere bia Ghana for be tumi ni be hensam manu puntu se sikasama obunse manu sorry se free SHO so se nsu papa yenum be fesirim bia se kuayo hospital healthcare housing akwan papa omo ye ni nyina na bia ye ni nyina dia ye nkosisa ya nyi tumi ni mfiri ho nya nsa mfa nkwa hen fa bio timi na masra se Ghana for omo ye nyina na na do achi nsa ma na kwa ya boda baso se kwa wazi so no onkoso de demase
What's the perfect gift for our staff employees this season?
All your different caliber of staff. Big question.
I don't want to start guessing what each person needs.
And have to worry where to get what for who when.
Some want electronics, furniture, clothes, others want groceries. crockery, cutlery.
Hey, how can you tell?
She's a magician. With the Malcolm gift vouchers, everyone can get what they want. Remember, you can get the same bargain prices from any Malcolm shop across the country. Now, everyone can get a perfect gift.
kasan Ghana Allah ya wani da ya Ghana kasa amina musulmanin nan alhalin kuwa muna tsakanin waɗansu garin da suke daura da mu ana kashe-kashe ana ribaci mutane sauran addinai da wani addinai ba shiri mu kuwa nan Ghana mu da sauran kiristan da wani kiristan duka muna da lafiya tebur guda muna shawara to wanga nema ne da Allah ya muna da ya kamata mu gode mu bayyana neman na kar mu boye shi ne da godiyanmu a yi zaɓe ba zub da jini a yi zaɓe ba zub da jini kara ribaci sauran samaruna a neme su da wani hali na tashin hankali har jini ya zuba ya kamata karo ko digon zai yi ya lura a cikin abin da za yi mun yi haka nan mun gode ma neman da Allah ya ba mu kenan shi Allah ya kara mana nema amma muka butulce ma Allah muka ce ba mu gani ba irin neman da Allah ya muna to Allah ya sauka muna neman sauki wurin Allah Allah ya kara mana nema saboda shi muke faɗin neman da Allah ya muna a mutanen Ghana mutane zai ulmulka mai wanda sha wata ifi man sha wata zullu man sha mai kala khairu innaka ala kulli shay'in qadir fatan zaɓe muna fata Allah ya sa a yi shi lafiya Allah ya sa a yi shi lafiya wannan cuta da yanzu kuma Allah ya ɗauke mana shi Allah ya ɗauke mana shi kara manta wannan tsari kuma na rufe abin nan baki ai kokari kowa ya kiyaye wannan ga shi zan yi
Speed thrills, but it kills. An open road in good condition may entice a driver to speed. As a driver, you must not speed, especially in areas where speeds of less than 50 km per hour are required. Road engineers sometimes construct speed humps in an effort to make drivers reduce speeds, especially in residential areas, commercial areas, and near schools where speeds of less than 30 km per hour are required. If you are driving in such areas, please slow down so that you can bring your vehicle to a stop when you have to. Stop road crashes now. Stay alive.
This road safety education is brought to you by the National Road Safety Authority.
Welcome back to The Point of View. Here are some of your comments. Hi Bernard, I trust you are well. I'm watching The Point of View and I want to say your analysis is an eye-opener, especially regarding swing regions. You have debunked the theory held for so many years. Fantastic so far. The politicians should be paying you for consultancy. This person doesn't add a name to the message. Good evening, Bernard. I'm really enjoying the show. From your analysis, I think Ashanti and Volta and Greater Accra will decide the elections this year. Yeah, that's a good point. Turn out in those regions, obviously. That's from Rash in Techiman. Thank you, Rash, for watching us in Techiman. Your Techiman has an interesting history. Maybe next week I'll tell you about Techiman. Interesting analysis. Good job. Good evening. I think the elections will go for runoff. Former President John Mahama, who pushed the elections to a runoff, will push the elections to a runoff. If the MPP must work hard in Ashanti region, If the Ashanti region doesn't vote massively, John Dramani Mahama is going to win the election. I'm watching you live from Eastern region in Enyinem. You don't add your name to the message. Okay, so now let's talk about constituencies that always, it's like they don't have time for, they don't repeat anybody, they always change you, okay? Now, this constituency in Techima North we found is amazing. Look at what it did. 96. And this is presidential, mind you. So this is like your ultimate swing constituency in Ghana. 96 NDC, Rawlings won. 2000 MPP could forward. By 2004, they were tired of him. They changed. And this is why I said to the guy who called in Techima, this is Techima North. Techima North is in the Bono East region. Look at it, 2008, they went back to MPP. Okay, 2012, they went for NDC again. And look at what they did in 2016. So they are the only constituency in Ghana we found which had a clean record in this sense. We don't usually add 92 for many reasons. It was the first, so there were challenges there. But look at it. I call this one the Rebels. Every election year, every single election year, they flip presidential. They are the only constituency we found presidential that did this perfectly. So, does that mean 2020 to vote for NDC? Well, if this is the trend analysis, you could say that. Because by 2016, they are tired of MPP already, so they want NDC to come back. This is Techima North constituency. Now, let's talk about constituencies that always vote for the opposition. Now, this is interesting. So 96 is out because 96 NDC won. But since 2000, these two constituencies have always gone against the national grain in a weird way for presidential. Because don't forget, 2000 and 2004, MPP won the election. They chose NDC. 2008 and 2012, NDC won the election. They went for MPP. It's only 2016 that they maintained MPP. So Bimbila. Now, some of the people think it could be some of the conflict issues that makes them punish governments. This is something we need to find out. I have no explanation for this. I need to ask my friends from Bimbila, how come 2000, the whole country voted for MPP, they went for NDC. 2004, the whole country voted for MPP, they went for NDC. Now, 2008, that we were going for NDC, no, they went for MPP. 2012, that we maintained Mahama, they went for MPP again. So what happened? Same for Zabzugu. So this is what the anthropologists and the historians must analyze. But I find it quite interesting. So apart from, of course, 2016, then look at this one. Parliamentary-wise, these constituencies always flip it in a parliamentary sense. So Bimbila again, parliamentary, 96 PNC. 2000, 2004, everybody went for NPP, they went NDC. 2008, 2012, they went for NPP. Zabzugu as well. Then you had Bulsa South. Bulsa South is a PNC issue, it's not an MPP NDC issue. So in 2008, 2012, they went for PNC. So it's not as clear-cut as Zabzugu and Bimbila. But this is for parliamentary. Very interesting. Constituencies that go against the grain for reasons that are very local. Now, parliamentary elections are very local in nature. Now look at this one as well. Every election, they vote for a different party, except in 2016. Esunafo South, this is Eric Opoku, MP. He's the only MP who has backed that trend. 96, NDC. 2000, MPP. 2004, NDC. 2008, MPP. Eric Opoku, 2012, maintained 20. He's facing stiff competition from Kwabena Amwa Mensah, MPP, an engineer. So that's interesting. Then look at Avle. The three constituencies in the closer areas of Ivory Coast, you have Avle, Jomoro, and Elembele. There's a strong CPP influence there. We'll discuss that in our next program. Unfortunately, we had to end there because of time, but I've broken this down. So let me make a correction from last week. Lejo Kuku did not vote presidential for NPP. They voted for NDC. So the data we showed last week was correct for parliamentary, not for presidential. Well, it's 7 days to the election. You heard the chief imam in the adverts. Peace is paramount. Go and vote in peace and go home and wait for the result. Tune to City FM and City TV and listen for the results. You don't need to stand there and snatch a ballot box or go and fight with anybody. Go join the queue, show your ID and vote, and let Ghana win at the end. We are the envy of the rest of the world because of our peaceful elections. Let's not destroy it this time around. Thank you for watching The Point of View. My name is Bernard Avle. Hope you've enjoyed the show. We'll be with you on Wednesday, and then next week by now, we'll be giving you results right from this studio. We'll be with you next time. The Voters Diary with Vivian Kailoko is next. Stay with City.
Point of View is powered by Airtel Tigo. Airtel Tigo. Life is simple.